Hello, and in this video I'm going to describe a piece of technology, not computer related, that I like to use. And in it I will say what it is, when it was invented, what it is used for, and I will explain why I like to use it. This is a tricky question because there are a number of things, but if I had to choose just one, I'd go for the television. I realise that this might not be the most obvious answer, as it could be considered old-fashioned and outdated nowadays, and there are a number of devices, such as smartphones and tablets, to name but a few, that would be regarded as more multifunctional or trendy. However, I'm a massive TV addict, so that's why I'm such a fan of this technological device. One of the major reasons why it is such a great invention is that not only can family members watch their favourite programmes on TV, but they can also bond when they are spending time together. It is often only during family viewing time that families sit together in the living room. I'm glad that it was invented for this reason. In addition to this, there are fewer distractions when you're watching the TV. In the past, parents used to moan when their kids were sitting in front of the TV for hours on end. But some parents now prefer their children to be watching the box rather than being on computers, iPads or other such gadgets. This is mainly because the TV is safer than computers or phones, as there is more control over the content, and there are no weirdos who are trying to chat with them, which can happen when children are playing online video games. As for when it was invented, I'm afraid I have absolutely no idea. But if I were to hazard a guess, I'd say in the 30s or 40s. I feel such a Philistine, because I don't know who invented it either. But whoever it was, they were a genius. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the language used in this model answer about the TV. Now you need a good opening sentence for your part 2 answer. Lots of candidates just say I'm going to talk about. Try and use something more complex. So here we've got if I had to choose, I'd go for. And this is the second conditional, so it's making your answer more complex. Now, if you're going to use something like this, make sure you've practiced it over and over again so it sounds natural. It doesn't sound like you've just memorised it. The most obvious answer, the answer that you expect people to make. It could be considered very useful, these modal passives, not only for speaking but also for writing. Old-fashioned, outdated, very similar words in meanings, but I often like to put lots of words in even if they're similar in meaning because it shows that you have a range of vocabulary. One of the most useful words for lots of writing topics, speaking topics, gadgets, devices, electronic gadgets, electronic devices. You find these words can be used for lots of different topics. Smartphones, just another way of saying a mobile phone. Tablet, like an iPad. And when you're doing a list, to name but a few. So it's saying there are lots of others I could name, but these are just a few. To name but a few. Another modal passive would be regarded as, a very useful word here, multifunctional, meaning it has lots of functions, multifunctional. Trendy, another word for fashionable. Now, to say you like something, here is a way you could say it in a much more stronger way, a massive TV addict. If you're an addict, you're addicted to it. You really, really like it. I'm a football addict, I'm a sports addict, I'm a TV addict. I'm such a fan of. So again, instead of saying I really like this technological device, I'm a fan of. I'm such a fan of, making it even stronger. One of the major reasons why IELTS examiners are always listening for collocations, looking for collocations in your writing. Collocations are words that go together naturally in a native language. A major reason. Family members, members of your family. The verb to bond means to kind of connect together, have a stronger connection. And if you're watching TV, you can talk about it as being viewing time, because to view means to watch. And for this topic, passive is important. It was invented. Remember to use a range of discourse markers in your answer. In addition to this can also be used for IELTS writing. A distraction is something that takes your attention away from something else, such as when you're watching TV, your smartphone can be a distraction. When you're doing your homework, your phone is a distraction. Remember to use used to. Lots of IELTS candidates don't use it, and it's just another little grammatical device to get the IELTS examiner to think about your range of grammatical tenses that you're using. Moan, complain. For hours on end, this means for hour after hour, and it's a very useful phrase. You can talk about for hours on end, for days on end, for months on end, for years on end. This is an idiomatic expression. We refer to the TV as the box in the UK. So watching the box, watching the TV. The content is what is on the internet. Weirdos. A weirdo is a strange person who you don't want your child to come into contact with. And we've got a few examples of continuous tenses in this answer. So we've got past continuous, were sitting, present continuous, are playing, are trying, are watching. As for when it was invented, so saying with regard to when it was invented. Now, you probably don't know. Whatever thing you're going to talk about, you might not know. So you don't have to think of an answer. You don't need a name. And actually, this is much more complex than giving a name. I'm afraid I have absolutely no idea. So you're saying, I'm sorry, I have no idea. Some great second conditional here. If I were to hazard a guess, I'd say. To hazard a guess means to make a guess and is a very complex collocation. In the 30s or 40s, so meaning in the 1930s or the 1940s, you can use these to talk about ages of people as well, in his 30s, in his 40s. This is a very complex word. A Philistine is somebody who is uncultured and who doesn't have much knowledge. A genius is the opposite of that. A genius is somebody who's very creative and invents something. Thank you very much for watching.